Hey guys, CJ here. What we're going to go over today is why, as in you, Y-O-U. And why that's important is because when someone writes to you, they are going to address you or say, how are you doing? And so what you is it's an object, right? So I love you. I is the subject, love is the verb, you is the object. So identifying different ways you is written, and especially the Y, which is very characteristic of it, you can kind of see the why, right? What are they trying to say? So here we're gonna. So U is an important word, right? I is the most important letter, I'd say, and U is the most important word for how someone feels about you. There's other, of course, there's other important words, and this came up today when I was analyzing a client's writing, and the sample was pretty small, so it was tough. But there was a lot of Y's in there, right? So we have you, right? And there's a lot of ways to write you, right? See, you can write it where it intersects the base word here, or somebody can write it down like that. You can write a big loop. There's a million ways to write it, and I'm going to cover about 4 or 5 here, maybe 6. So I would say this is pretty close to the ideal of how you want a Y, right? So generally, when you're looking at it, you want something spread into the four quadrants, right? There we go. So it's about even on each side here. And that's what you want. You want a lot of balance. When you're writing about someone, writing to someone, and you want to have a very balanced approach, right, to them. You see everything above, you see everything below. Very balanced approach to writing you. But when you see you written, and especially see the Y here, it's going to be very characteristic. If you see this one, I would say this is the danger zone. If they're writing you where their curve is hooking through the base of the word, through the top of the word, first off, try to find Y's in other things they write, right? If they write yesterday, and their Y's seem like this, or none of the other Y's intersect here, that could mean that a person doesn't respect you, right? Or their feelings about you are muddled, right? They're confused, they're crossing, right? So look for that's generally, I would say, I don't like saying positive or negative, but using that paradigm, that would be more negative. You see a Y down here. This is a bit of disconnect, and you can even see how I wrote this, right? This is usually to follow when you see a Y hooking down here. I find it pretty rare that it's connected after that one. So what you're looking for here, they don't really know you that well. They're kind of pulling away. You see a big loop here, right? I call this like an ant loop. And so this would be kind of someone who has a lot of opinions, right? More things are unsaid in the relationship than said. So it's like a nosy ant. You also have this Y, this one, and going along with that, then you have a hook, right? And there's a lot of ways you can do a hook. Well, I did a G there. That's another point, is when you look at G's, look at other letters that go down. How do they form those? Right? So when you see this hook, a lot of the times this will be someone trying to kind of hook themselves into your life, right? They miss you. Maybe there was a relationship. They want more of a relationship than there is. This is more of like a grandparent's hook. You'll see grandparents a lot of the times when they write you, like you write you a card, you'll see some of this hook. If they necessarily, or you might see this one, Grandparents, you won't see this a lot. You won't see that kind of, I don't really know you, that's okay. So this is where they want more, they want to hook you. They want more attention from you. This one is a bit of a lazy one, and you have this bit of a more open one here. And that kind of goes along with the hook, but they're just leaving things open here. This is just kind of left open. Hey, you know, you're a person. I don't really know you too well. Hope you're doing well. A little impersonal. See this hook? That's grandparents. Feel like they don't know you. Feel like they missing that connection. The rest of the word is important, and I'm going to go over it real quick here. Right? So the O represents in you. This is in you. There's a lot of different meanings where something could possibly represent 5, 6, 10 different meanings, and you need to look at the rest of the sample to eliminate those or increase the probability of one of those being correct. So here, right, when you have, let's do it bigger. I'm using a trackpad here. So in O, you generally want that to be closed. If it's open, if it's cutting in, that's not too bad. But notice, where is that? How does that O, right? Disconnected, and this is kind of represents the other person within the relationship of you. So, right, you have you have the other person. So you have you, you have the other person, right? The person writing this. And then you have how both of you kind of work together, right? Like, is this a glass half full? Is it half full? Is it half empty? A little bit of the psychology. And so there's more psychology than that. But that would be the simplest representation I can provide about what that would mean. Right? So how you see it next. So if you see one long right here, you know, an O, and then you, this person, I would say, doesn't know you well, doesn't really see you have a complete relationship, and it's not a very deep relationship, right? Right there. And so it's not a very deep relationship either. You see one of these. Right? So somebody who wants a deeper relationship feels that there's something missing, but it was, yeah, one time was kind of a deep relationship or a meaningful relationship. And of course, anything that's here can be either reinforced or dismissed based on what you read elsewhere in the sample. But these would be the high probability. If you just had this word, or if you just had a sentence, or I love you, or hope you had a great graduation, I love you, or a Valentine's note from your partner. That's where you would look into these things. This would probably be the best type of you you're hoping for. And cursive is always more expressive than printing. There's more time on, right? There's more pen touching the paper. So it's obviously going to have more things to look at for us. So I hope you found that interesting. I will be going over some other words and letters. If you are interested, please like and subscribe it if you learned something new. Have a good one.